Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar, and the first official video of the decade. Happy New Year. It is January 2nd, first trading day of the year, and what a day it's been. It is evening time now. I'm at the office. I'm going to be doing some research, getting ready for next week actually. It's a Thursday, but tomorrow we have the last day. But what a day, what a year. I wanted to go over some thoughts. I wanted to discuss maybe some stocks to get us ready for next week, and some other things, just to kind of keep in touch and just make sure everyone's having a good end of the year. I mean, it's been a really great year. There's so much to talk about. I'm always not trying to figure out the next market's move here. I like to learn that lesson a long time ago, not try to predict what the market's going to do, just pay attention to the signals and try to pass on certain things that work on a consistent basis and something that we can recognize. And that's what we basically call the high probability methodology, is when we are able to see certain patterns and situations that's set up on the market time and time again, and be able to profit from those. But in this case right now, in this past 2 years, I mean, how long have we been trading this bullish uptrend? Probably since 2012, I would say, is the last time we really got a spook. And other than last December, last Christmas, the market actually pulled back a lot. But I didn't really feel it as much as, of course, 2012. And then before that, it was probably 2008, and that was really bad. As the market goes, it doesn't have to be bad for traders, especially traders at day trading radio. So we had a banner year. Really looking forward to this year. And to kind of go into what the talk on the street is right now is basically, how far can this market go? Is it extended? Yes, I think a lot of people said it extended. Price to earnings have been spiked up. There's just a lot of people out there not willing to come out and say, yeah, we're going to sell off, but definitely putting it out there and saying, hey, yeah, we're extended. We're due for a pullback. Yeah, of course, we've been due for a pullback. But the question I raise is, what if this is the new norm? We always think, all right, 2000, all right, the flash crash, the tech bubble, these things that come, and then we always watch for them again. But then they really, it always seems to be something new that affects the market. And when we do get to an area where we've experienced it before, take terrorist attacks. Terrorist attacks used to always scare the crap out of the market. Now, or recently, something can happen and we won't budge the market. Same thing with, there was a time when, Ebola was making the market drop a couple hundred points. Now, if someone can have Ebola, it doesn't even matter. So these things get, affected, and the market has changed over the last few years. It's very strong. It's almost on an automatic, move up, where the market is just constantly buying there's nothing to bind the underlying market, and call it ETFs, call it managed funds, this is where we're going to be heading here. When we start to see these returns in the market, 25-30% returns in the market are unheard of. And of course, because over time we haven't, but there has been times, there has been great returns in the market, and there's been times when there hasn't been great returns. But over time, the market continues to go up. And what happens when everyone starts to say, "Hey, we're going up too fast"? Well, the market will continue to go up, and people say, "Well, it's too overextended now. It doesn't belong to go up any further," and it'll go up further. I'm feeling, bullishness come into this market, into the new year, to 2020. Those out there in 2019 who might have missed some of this are thinking twice in 2020. They're thinking twice of how they're going to go to work here. Now, you can still, here's a couple of things. You can still add money to your IRAs going into the next 3 months. All right, what if we see a surge of money, people saying, you know what, we have to take advantage of these markets. A lot of people not taking advantage of these markets. And all of a sudden, that FOMO crowd, the FOMO, fear of missing out group, starts to get involved. That's one of the check marks we look for when we look for a market ready to reverse, is when we got the, we get the masses starting to pile in. It's too good to be true, and everyone starts to jump in, and that's when we get that blow off. And I don't think that has happened yet. But when maybe we might be seeing the beginning of that at the beginning of 2020. I mean, who could have went either way. But I tell you, to see a big return, a big gap up, first day of the year, trading day of the year, it was pretty impressive. And it doesn't look like it wants to pull back either. I mean, right now the futures are up 275. And if you've traded this market for a while, 10 years, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, there's something different about this. It's very stable. It seems very organized. Very, buying a dip is very in thing right now. There's not much volatility in the market. And these are, probably the result of certain things that have happened over the years to stabilize the market and put some buying into it. So we go into second trading day of the year tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see how far we go. 3,283 right now on the S&P futures, March contract 2020. Again, no predicting or assuming or anything with this market, just reacting and following the trend. When the market pulls back and it tells us it wants to pull back and we start breaking technical levels, we should be, keen enough to understand some of the signals to take positions and take the profits off the table. And always take profits, Nothing lasts forever, and I understand that. But right now, things look really good. And, today I was actually doing a lot of, excuse me, a lot of research during the show. Just kind of catching up and getting ready for maybe discussing this tonight and just seeing what's out there. And I do a kind of a fast little scan of the markets. And actually, what I'm going to do right now, even though I'm doing this video with you, I want to go live on the show because I told them I would be going live and I do the video with them. So this is going to be kind of a video / podcast. And if you're hanging here at Day Trading Radio, here at DayTraderRockStar.com, which we're always here, but it's, oh my God, is it 8 o'clock already? It's 8 o'clock now. I want to go live and discuss this stuff live with you. So, and we trade. And again, if you get this and you're not part of Day Trading Radio, you could tune in any time during the day from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock and find us trading. And we have a big community, chat rooms and everything. A little plug for the site. We've been going, and that's it. So let me switch over now. I want to take the mute button off here. There, I just came back live here. I did my intro. Now I'm getting back into the chat room here so we could take some questions and stuff. But I didn't want to hit on anything too important and leave everyone out. So I had BlackRock up here on the screen because, talking about that FOMO group, and I was just talking about this, the fear of missing out, the traders that might be not benefiting totally from the market, and when they see these returns, and then you see what you have in the bank, and you're saying, why am I settling for just keeping my money in the bank, or why am I settling for, these very safe, certain things that don't really give you a big return. We should get back into the market. This is someone else talking. These are the average, that people have gotten, got turned off on the market because maybe they lost money in the past or just whatever. They don't trust it. They can't see it. They don't understand it. But it's pretty easy to understand when you look at point A and point B, and you should be taking advantage of all these upsides. It's right there. When it doesn't work, that's one not to be part of it. But that FOMO crowd might all of a sudden in 2020 say, hey, we want to be part of this. We should get into the market. I bet you. I know a lot of people. I just texted a friend just yesterday. He goes, Johnny, I gotta get into trading. For the last, and I said, just open an account. When you open an account, I know you're serious. So yesterday, or New Year's Eve, I wishing him a happy New Year's, and I said, did you open that trading account yet? If not, I told him who to do it with. Then we'll talk. Happy New Year. Yes. He goes, please. Miss you, man. Let's get together soon. Happy New Year to family. Whatever. But I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more interest in the market. If these markets continue to make these gains, and we're into January, we're up, 5 to 10% in January. That seems like a lot, but anywhere close to, anything over, 3% would be amazing. So, here's some of these, asset management companies. BlackRock is probably the biggest one. And look at the chart right now. Even though it's $508 a share, again, they're going to benefit. They're definitely going to benefit from the inflow of new funds trying to get into these, get an exposure to the market. Even if you don't have time, people are going to want to. A lot of people are considering this. So I think that's a real positive in the market. Of course, the political situation, as we get closer to November, probably going to be a little volatile, depending on how the polls run. But it's going to be hard to believe that no one's going to give Donald Trump as much credit, during the debates and during the big lead up here. I wonder how they're going to counter, the economy. How are they going to counter that? Because the markets here continues to push up here, and you're up another 20% come the next, come November. You know what? You could see what's going to happen here. Then you have another 4 years, maybe. And who knows? Maybe the policies being put in here are playing out. And there's a mathematical reason this market is feeling comfortable up here. There's a lot of interesting things ahead of us this year, and I think a lot of them, of course, point to the upside. Today we had a gap up, and I kind of went out with a right at the open. I got 10 puts, and I think it was expiring on 3 days. Anyway, it came down enough to give me, just a nice $100 profit. I just took it off. Might have been even more than that. But then the market bounced back up here, and look at this. It had a nice pullback. It was kind of organized too. It started off a gap up. It would have been perfect for that gap up reversal. Now, tomorrow we get another gap up. That's going to be very interesting to see. I want to just take a look at this at the daily. The big things on this chart, you could see just this top trend line. We've already broken through it. And this was pretty established. I think it was a pretty good trend line that we'll see that revisited down the road. Now, how far down the road is another $1 million question. Market closed on the highs. We have another gap up tomorrow. It's almost like a runaway gap, and that would be extremely bullish. If this isn't bullish already. We're pinned up here, and the last time we were pinned up there, we actually had a longer rally. It was about 4 or 5. What is this? This is on the daily chart, right? So those are the October and November. And this is just really starting here, December. So we have a whole month here, maybe possibly being embedded to get a similar move. And another thing is, what if this is the new norm? Well, this is a new norm, and we start to have repeat double-digit gains in the markets. But how do we pick the setups now going forward? So, there's a few stocks I know that I continue to like. And if I was forced to buy stuff up here, of course, I think we'd start off with the AUPH, which I think most of us agree will have, will be under the spotlight. Now, I'm saying most of us, maybe most of us don't know enough about the stock and stuff. But I think you have to get involved, you have to get some research read. But they have a really good pipeline coming up pipeline drug coming up in mid-year, and also they had the lupus drug that it was successful. It's now the best lupus drug, lupus nephritis drug. And then they have these eye drops that are coming out, which are beating the Restasis, I believe the brand name, current standard treatment is for dry eyes. This one's supposed to be beating that one and heads up competition in the trials. So, a lot of even today came out being rumored on Deal Reporter. I don't know if it was called a rumor or so-called Deal Reporter reporting that AUPH is being looked at by a couple big pharma companies or something towards that effect. And, I don't put too much behind that because we've been talking about that for a month now, over a month, So they just happened to catch it from our chat. I think they caught it from our chat room, or at least eventually something got around. I mean, it's kind of obvious now. Been seeing that a lot on the chat boards, a lot of people. So the going price, I would say, at this point, I would say over $40. Could be a lot more. Could be maybe around 40. I don't know. That's a tough call. I mean, you would think 40 would be a minimum of a takeover. And when does it happen? Well, that's another good question. A lot of predictions are before mid-year. So that would be almost a double on your money in less than 6 months. It's very appetizing. So that's why I continue to like this one as one of the best bets going into this. And there it is right there, AUPH. The other one I really like is the MDT, Medtronic. This is a medical device maker. They make heart pumps and valves and everything like that to keep people alive. Of course, that is always going to be the future. And it's just a stair-stepping pattern up here. This is a nice pullback. Starting to turn back up. It gives us a Nike check mark, which is usually good for a follow-through day. MDT looks good. And then there's one very similar to that. Where did I have that? I don't have it on. What was it? I think it was BDX, was it? Yeah. BDX, Becton Dickinson Medical Instruments Devices. Another perfect flag. So right at the highs, breaking out, nice pullback. Nothing wrong with that. 1, 2, 3, easy. Apple's been showing great strength, and it's popped over 300 today. Now, with $300 could have been a big number. It closed right around 300, maybe a little over 300. It popped up here and after hours right now. It's trading at 301 and a quarter after hours. So, what are you going to do with that one? You guys hear me okay? Is this how's the audio, by the way? I don't even know if anybody's out there. Like I said, I'm doing this live now. All right, good. Hey, Fro. So that's the two other ones. And then the waste management. Again, a lot of the other stocks I'm holding are cheapies, believe it or not. These are the quality HPS setups that I like and I'm holding. Waste management. You see the nice reversal here? This is what we looked for today. We looked for it to come down. Once it was oversold, it wasn't too concerned. I said, we're going to flush this. Last 4 or 5 day flush is usually very bullish. The follow through should just propel this higher. So this is a nice reversal. Volume picked up on the reversal. Closed on the highs of the session. Just looks perfect. Maybe I should get $1 on this tomorrow. And I'll probably end up, slowly scaling out of my calls on this. I'd like to get a little pop on this. I mean, it still looks good. I mean, it just depends on what type of trade you're taking on this. I think this is one of those stocks that you could buy and hold. You're in a decent level, just off the 200 period moving average. You're buying it, and we discussed a couple stocks today. I'll throw them out to you. You'll probably find these on the HPS watch list. Well, this one is on it. DRI, that is on it. That went on last week. And look at the move today. Jesus, that was a huge move. DRI, a huge move. CRI, Waste Management, MDT. Talked about the BlackRock. All right. Did you see that the Super Bowl? I mean, not the Super Bowl. The Times Square event that Domino's was charging at their Times Square, or the Domino's pizza place down there. They jacked their prices to $30 a pizza because there was millions of people outside, and they had to rope off the Domino's. They raised their price on that New Year's Eve to $30, and they were allowed to do that. That's what I heard. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, yeah. And you could use the bathroom. Maybe that's because you use the bathroom. They're jacking up everything for the bathroom price. All right, so let's take a look at some other stocks. All right, Waste Management. All right, so COUP. COUP is the other one. We were picking just a few for right now to start off the year. COUP is about to break out. It's consolidated, good 6 months. So breakout here should give us some room to run. Had a consolidation here, popped, consolidation here, a nice pop, and now it's been chopping around. It looks like it's trying to turn it back up. Volume was good today. That's one of my favorites. That came along with Plan, and and Plan had a nice pop today too. And someone mentioned a big volume went in after the close. Yeah, maybe. And then you have the Plan, you have COUP, and then you have Team, and all of them these are really nice. Team on the bottom of the list. COUP first. All right, just taking a look at the current HPS watch list, which will be going out to members tomorrow. Most everything here has hit its target except a couple things. The DRI, which actually moved. It hasn't hit its trigger. Our trigger was a little bit below where it lived, where it bounced off of. But in the video, we discussed two trade opportunities on this, and that one was on the first trend line, and that worked out kind of pretty decent. We're looking at this green trend line here. That would make this parallel channel. And I wanted to be alerted to it if we got down there, but we bounced. We bounced so far back up. So
order submitted.
That's the reason that says it's still watching. But everything else looks to have triggered except the Plan. And I believe the Plan was also one of the ones that were looking for a 200 EMA breakdown channel line bounce, but instead bounced off the 200. I let it play out, but I'm going to have to actually I'll just take it off. I mean, because it's probably not going to cut back down to that level, and I would have a new chart up anyway. So that one's going to come off. The PayYC and AMT, both of those also ran away. Again, this was a Hail Mary trade. We were seeing if we got any spike down. I believe there was some maybe news. I was hoping for a long-term spike down here, but it just it actually moved up to the trend line here. I didn't actually move down, and we didn't make it down there. And from that point on, it just took off. So those are the ones that didn't trigger. Everything else triggered and looks pretty good. The McDonald's hit its target today. That was just that kind of took a while to play out, but finally got up there and kind of broke out. And again, you get these all emailed to you when they trigger and stuff. So I got some new ones that I'm going to get up there. The DRI does look, oh well, if it comes back. Veru, of course, update closing at 353. Can you believe it? 353. BNGO, who was up and down. Fuel cells up and down. Phase, but the AUPH again has to be considered one of the best bets. I had a friend text me today. He's like, I'm in this INX. What was it? IN something. It was a 16-cent stock, and he got into it. He made like he doubled his money in it, or doubled it. He sold it like 30-something cents. And he's not a trader. He just got into it recently because, it was one of the guys I got into AUPH, and now he's hooked. But he came, he told me, I said, well, how are you getting out? He goes, well, I just pushing the button. I said, well, you should use a limit order to get out of those, or else they're going to just, they're going to drop so fast, they're going to low tick you on this. And or the spread is not right or something. He's in, and he says, "Oh, I don't know how to do that. You have to show me." I said, "All right, well, bring over your laptop, and I'll set it. I'll show it to you." "Oh, I don't have a laptop. I'm trading on my phone." So he's trading these aggressive, reading the chat room, and then trading the trading the stocks on it. I said, "That's hit and miss. That's hit and miss." I said, just take the money, put it in the AUPH, and then sit back and just give it time. It was the INPX. That was it, the INPX. I said, oh my God. I said, he's playing with fire. All right. I'll just take a look at a few more stocks here. The Apple, the BDX. There's the BDX. That's about it. What I want to just kind of discuss here. Market's actually in a little divergence set up here, but this is pretty flat. Pretty flat. The market actually near the lows, even though we're up 2 points. On the futures, we're at closer to the lows here. And looks like we'll see if we pull away from that VWAP. Well, the ones that we trade here, like, getting into like a waste management or something, that you could do on your phone. Well, when you're dealing with these stocks that are running on fast news, they're only 30 cents, and they're $1 or $2, and they're popping up 100, 200%. Usually, there's 9 out of 10 of them come back pretty hard.
1 minute by divergence.
Got the market dropping a little here as the audio just came across, or not audio. I just got an alert that there was a rocket attack in Iranian airport. They blew up one of their generals, Iranian general. 7 killed, and that just happened. The market just dropped off of that too. So, and we noticed earlier today there was a point during the day where there was some news of potential continued harassment from Iraq's Iranian militia, or something that might cause some more problems. And the market kind of dumped out there, and then it kind of built its way back up. But right now you can see we are starting to sell off. We went Not quite negative yet. We're off an old trend line. Well, a small little move down, but that's what seems to be spooking the market a bit, because we haven't seen anything really take this market down. But this is definitely behind. That's, from the news issues coming out here. I don't know how important this general is. If they're gonna, where the rockets came from. Market here continue to sell a bit. I want to send this video out. I'll stop it now. We have some good stuff on it. I'll set it up. If you're out there listening to the video, coming by, DayTraderRadio.com. Over and out.